Goats are intelligent and agile animals. They're proficient climbers and renowned escape artists. They're also a rewarding and potentially profitable investment. So as you would with any investment, keeping them secure is critical. If you're going into goat production, one of the first things you'll need to do is establish effective fencing yards and husbandry facilities. When you decide what type of fencing is most effective for your goats, do your research. Talk to existing goat farmers. Consider the type of terrain you're working with, and think about future growth plans and easy vehicle access.
Fencing for goats is a fair challenge, but it's achievable.
When we came here, this property was set up for cattle. The yards, for example, have very big spacings between the bars.
Due to their love of climbing, goats generally need higher fencing than sheep or cattle. Fence design should have no internal slope posts for climbing, and the bottom of the fence needs to securely hug ground level in order to minimise escape opportunities.
Ring lock fencing, 900 with the barb on top has been probably the most success we've had.
This is a reasonably low-cost fence for medium to low-pressure areas. It's got a low-cost netting with a plain wire at the bottom, plain wires at the top, and a top barb. So the netting's quite cheap. The critical part of the whole fence is this bottom wire combination, because that's where goats go out of. It's quite rare for a goat, once it's reasonably domesticated, to go over the top, though they can. The bottom's the critical part of any goat fence. You don't need to spend vast amounts of money on special goat yards. The cattle yard rails are perfectly high enough. Simply buying a few sheets of sheep mesh and sticking it on the outside with wire will convert your cattle yards very quickly.
Due to the low carrying capacity of this country, we could not sustain a $4,000 netting fence, so we had to look for an alternative. The electric fencing, although you have to live on the property to manage it, is a wonderful light tool. $2,000 a K gets you very good materials to do a kilometre of 7-wire fencing with a 9-metre span between the posts.
Steel pickets, 2 hot wires and 2 earth returns, and either topped with 1 or 2 barbs. Country here is just so dry, there's no moisture in it to do a ground earth, so the system that Bert's put in is an earth wire return.
Have the bottom earth as close to the ground as you can, and the next live wire about 4 inches above that, so their nose has to go above the earth wire but below the live wire. It also has a control mechanism for the wild dogs and kangaroos.
We've also used electric offset fencing. That is very effective as well and a lot lower costs, but it does have a higher maintenance, and you've got to keep that electricity humming and keep shorts out of it. And probably the number one thing that I'd recommend with electricity is all goats going into electricity have to be trained before they're put into electric paddocks. If they're not trained, then there's no point, it won't stop them.
When we first started, we had a training paddock, but as the animals were bred here, they've got used to the electric fencing and no longer try to escape, even the rangelands.
Electric fencing is certainly the right thing in some places. We've never found it necessary. It takes too much of our time keeping it going. It's too expensive to put it up, and really the fences we use are more than adequate anyway.
A combination of both types of fencing may also be used, with an electric wire running along conventional fencing as an additional security measure. Goats look for climbing opportunities for mental stimulation. Providing structures like large rocks and branches away from fence lines can cater for this need and help reduce the likelihood of them trying to climb fences. When creating yards and handling areas, the comfort and safety of livestock and handlers should also be considered. So design these areas for both efficiency and to limit stress on the animals. No one type of fence, trap or yard suits all situations. However, the ability to effectively control goats is fundamental to running a sustainable goat enterprise. The task may seem daunting, but developing a long-term fencing plan and then investing a manageable amount in your fencing program each year can deliver a significant return on investment. So do your homework.
The key to any of the fencing, whether it be electric or any other fencing, is preparation, preparation, preparation. The more work you do, the better and the stronger the fence will be in the long run, and the less maintenance you'll have in the long run as well.
For more information about goat fencing, visit mla.com.au.